But my kind of stock answer to that is, well, name one community that you're involved with. So starting with something that they already have in their life, and one thing that they could see that improve in terms of community or social equity or environment or, you know, these big topics. One thing that they see, and then to start observing and informally talking to people. I used to do a lot of neighborhood organizing, so I feel like the first step for lots of people is just have a tea party on your porch and talk to your neighbors and start finding what common interests you have. And then really, as I say, don't forget, but I want to make it a positive thing, really take time to observe and watch the group, the organization, the process, the neighborhood, whatever it is. But just starting to talk to people, and then when you find someone else that has a similar thing, say, well, what's one thing we could do, even if it's really small? Because I feel like when you have one small success, then you can grow on it. But I'm thinking about like what kind of curriculum, whether it's formal or informal. You know, when you just meet someone on the street, or someone really wants to say, I actually want to get involved in social change, and what should I do? I'm working on developing a curriculum for that, which involves everything from big picture conceptual understandings of thinking more holistically, thinking as a system versus very mechanistically and isolated how we're taught to think in competition. So those large mental models that we have, to details of working in groups, to the details of just the information and the complexity of looking at all the different factors that we need to be thinking of and how we can focus on a specific thing and link it back to the greater trends, the deeper causes, you know, like capitalism or corporate rule or certain institutional race and classism, these things. So yeah, there would be different sections on each of these topics, but I recognize that it can't just be all really heady, that it's very experiential. And
what do you think about some of the big subcultural divides in activism, like especially the hippies and the punks? You know?
Yeah, what a bummer, huh? And totally human nature, because we want to feel part of a tribe, and in order to feel part of something, there is some sense of otherness and boundaries. The concept of boundaries is such a fascinating concept, I think, in our time. It causes so much conflict in the world, you know, from the country level to the individual level. What's my boundary here? So yeah, I love those times when we can just get over ourselves, over what clothes we're wearing and what music we like and what cafes we hang out at, and actually connect. And I think everyone likes to feel that sense of connection when we're around a similar issue. That's why I love storms, snowstorm, when we're all stuck at home, and there's something to bond us across those divides. So, you know, I think about even the divide as like, oh, I'm living in the new age hippie progressive world, and you're living in a big fancy single family detached house, and so we're separate. Even those divides are totally unhelpful, and they're not necessarily true. So there's a lot of porousness in the boundaries. And I really see people just following. I never blame an individual. Very rarely do I blame an individual for something. I just see the systems and the patterns and the ways that we really crave a sense of meaning, and so we want community, and we find community in the people that we're like, and so we have that. And then our society likes to keep us in little boxes and reinforce those boxes. Fine dance it is to have your sense of family and tribe, and have that sense of ecosystem of people. We're all connected.